This is Lucas with a post-Halloween update. So how did things turn out? Well, it's a long story. It started off good. I rented a van, and four guys came out to help me. And the plan was that we were going to break up the Well of Doom, which was in the garage, into 4 sections, stuff them in the van, drive them around to the front, unpack them, and put them assemble the Well of Doom in the front yard of our neighbor's house. This started off actually very well. We got the first piece out and we got it in place, and we got the mirror balanced, and it was looking really good. I thought we were actually going to be done ahead of time. But then it started to rain, and this wasn't just a regular rain. This was like a flipping rainfall alert deluge. And we were soaked to the skin in no time. But I have to say, none of the volunteers quit. But there was the problem that the flats that the Well of Doom was made out of were paper that was painted over. They could take a little bit of rain, but if they got really drenched, then they would come completely apart. They would disintegrate on me. And it wasn't just the rain. There was water pouring off the side of the roof right in the area that we had to work. And so we did the best we could with tarps and everything, but it was just impossible to continue and keep things dry. And so at first what we did was we just took a break, and Susan stuffed our clothes in the dryer, and we just had a little coffee break and lunch and soup in the hopes that the rain would ease off, but then it never did. So we got back to work, but there was nothing we could do. And but then Harvey got the idea that he could get some rope, and we sort of formed the tarp that was over the first section into kind of a V. So all that water that was pouring off the roof would just go down this V and off to the side. And things would remain, I wouldn't say dry, but a little drier where we had to work. So we could start getting pieces in place. But then we ran into another problem. The last piece, which had the mirrors in it, was really, really heavy, and of course very fragile. So we couldn't drop it or anything. And we found that really we couldn't lift it or take it very far. And as it got wet, it got slippery. We used a dolly to help us move it from the van up the front walk of the place. But then we couldn't move the thing over to where it had to go. And it was getting to be about 5 o'clock, and people had to go, and so anyway, I thought we were doomed. But then one of my friends, Bill, came up with an idea that we would put this last section on wooden skids, and then we would just slide it into place. But then we had to figure out, okay, how do we raise it up and get it properly lined up? And at this point, people had to go home. There were people freezing, and it was just down to Bill and me. And I thought we were done basically. So, but Bill got the idea that we just tip the thing over to the side. We'd eyeball where the legs would go, and we tack them in place, and then we'd roll it the other way and put the other legs in, and boom, it was the thing was in place and lined up. And by God, it worked right off the bat. And it was just in time, because just as we got it into place, that's when the first kids were arriving. And so we didn't have time to dry off or get into dry clothes or anything. We just went straight to work handing out candy and showing kids the Well of Doom. Here's my friend Daphne. Kick up your legs. It makes you look like you're... She's not a kid anymore, but she's having a blast. It was a real big hit with the kids. It makes you look like you're... The parents loved it. Kids had a really good time going in and out of the Well of Doom and taking their pictures down there. Kids would actually forget to ask for candy, which was good because we were short of candy. In spite of everything that went wrong and all the problems we had, the Well of Doom was a fantastic success. First of all, I have to thank Marcy and David, our neighbors next door, for allowing us to use their place. It was an enormous leap of faith for them to allow me to set up a massive thing like this in their front yard. And I'm very grateful for it. I have also got to thank the people that came out and helped. Harvey, who came out several days in advance to help get things organized and help me bring in other people. I couldn't have done it without his efforts. And I also have to thank Jacques, who came out in the rain and canceled meetings in order to stay on longer, all in order to help this project succeed. There was another fellow who doesn't want to be identified who showed up and also was a big help. And then, of course, there was Bill that kind of saved the day at the end. And I have to have a second shout out to Harvey and this unidentified individual that came out the day after and helped me disassemble the whole thing and get it put back in the garage. They were all a really huge help. I have to say it's been quite an experience. I've been thinking about it for about 6 months. I've been working on it for about a month, pretty diligently. And it all came down to everybody pushing a bit to get us over the finish line just in the nick of time. And that's kind of a funny feeling I have that yes, we ran into some problems, but everybody pushing and helping managed to make this thing come off. And if anybody hadn't, if there had been any more delays, or if anybody had decided, oh, I'm going to go do this instead of helping Lucas, or or didn't come up with the right suggestion or whatever, it would have failed completely. So this razor thin edge between success and failure, it was, I'm really glad it tipped the right way, because it could have gone in absolutely the opposite direction. So I have to say it's been quite an experience, and I hope you've enjoyed this ride with me. And I hope I get to do things like this again. Yes, I do. Anyway, and of course I have to say thank you to my wife, Susan, for putting up with this for the last month. I think it's been driving her nuts, but I love her very much, and I hope I hope she'll eventually forgive me for it. Anyway, that's all I have to say. And so this was my vlog for Halloween 2025, and we'll see what happens next year. Take care.